The Bond of Love by Kenneth Anderson. We started this topic where we discussed about the author who was a great hunter and a nature enthusiast. Okay, and he was a chronicle of wildlife. He was a British who uh, who was born in India and he died in India. He was a great hunter in the jungles of South India, right? He had worked for the nature also to protect the nature, to protect the animals, and a lot of work that he has done. And his stories revolve around the jungles of South India, Bangalore, where he lived. Right? This story, The Bond of Love, is about the attraction that people have with the animals. And here there is description of a sloth bear who has uh, a strange bond with the author's wife. Okay? Now, this particular incident which he describes in this story, The Bond of Love, where it is said that the author, along with his friends, had gone to a village where it was said that some fields were being destroyed by the wild animals, the wild pigs, the boars. Okay, so the villagers had asked for help to the author and his friends because they were hunters. So they went there to shoot the pigs. But what happens that there there is a bear, a big sloth bear. You know, sloth bear is the laziest bear. Okay, he was cited by the people who were there, that is the author, his friends, and some villagers. Okay, they were all there, and when they saw this sloth bear, the authors thought that it is not important to kill the bear because he was not dangerous at all. But his friend, his accomplice, he thought that the bear would be dangerous and he shot at the bear. Okay? Uh, when he shot at the bear fell down and he died. Okay, the bear died. But something was moving on the body of the bear. Right? The black coat, that is the black color of the bear, the fur is there, and there was something which was moving. And when the author picked it up, it was the baby sloth bear. He was very happy to see the sloth bear, but the sloth bear ran towards the jungle, okay, to protect itself. When the mother bear died, she was carrying the young baby bear on the back. You must have yourself climbed on the backs of your parents or your brothers. And this sloth bear, the baby sloth bear, he was climbing on the back of its mother. Right now, when the mother was killed, the baby ran towards the jungle. It rushed towards the jungle. But the author and his friends, all of them caught this sloth bear, baby sloth bear, and put it in a gunny bag, right? The gunny bag, the jute bag, and put it in the gunny bag, and they carried it. Now, the author thought that it would be very nice if he would be able to keep this sloth bear, baby sloth bear. So he took it to his house where his wife was there. His wife, she was very happy to see this sloth bear, baby sloth bear. And immediately she put a colored ribbon around its neck, right, and named it Bruno. The name of the sloth bear was Bruno. Okay, very good. So, the author's wife was very happy to have a pet sloth bear, a baby sloth bear. Bears are very cuddly, you know. You like to hug the bear, you like to hold the bear because it is very smooth. Okay, so they are cuddly. So the author's wife, she was very happy to have a beautiful, wonderful baby sloth bear. Now, This sloth bear, Bruno, was given everything to eat. It ate everything: the porridge, the vegetables, meat, nuts, tea, coffee, rice, lime juice, anything. The author's wife gave him anything and he would eat it up, right? So he was not one of them who would refuse to eat anything. He would accept anything that was given to eat or drink, right? And the baby was growing and Bruno was becoming mischievous. Okay, it used to play with the dog that they had, the Alsatian dog that they had, the author had, right? It was to play with the Alsatian dog, and they were friends. And the children of the tenants, they were also very friendly with Bruno, right? But as Bruno grew up, it was difficult to control him because he became so mischievous that once he ate a poison, some poison, barium carbonate, which was kept to kill the rats. Now, the poison, obviously, the poison would have its effect. So, what happened that Bruno could not walk? There was a paralytic attack. Okay, and Bruno was trying to come towards the mistress, that is the author's wife. So he was on his stump, sitting there and moving on his stumps. His legs could not, legs were affected by the poison. He could not walk. So he moved on his stumps and he reached the place where the author's wife was there. And the author's wife, she was so much afraid on seeing Bruno, who was almost paralyzed, right? They rushed towards the vet. Vet is the veterinary doctor, right? So they took Bruno to the veterinary doctor, and the doctor, he was surprised to see Bruno in that condition. Even after eating poison, he was not having so much of effect. Only the lower parts, that is the feet, legs, were paralyzed. So he looked into the books, barium carbonate, barium carbonate. Okay, okay. That is, he'll have to give an injection. So he took out the big syringe. You have big syringes for the animals. You don't have small syringes. So the big syringe, he took it out, put the medicine in the syringe and inserted the medicine. So Bruno was not responding in the first time, right? He was not having the effect of the medicine. So another hypodermic, another injection, okay, and it was also injected into Bruno. Now he was fine. After two injections, he was fine. He was feeling better. He was taken to the home. His mischief again, once more, one more incident is there about his mischief, that he drank a gallon of old engine oil. Okay, the author had kept the engine oil from his vehicle, from his car. He had taken it out and he had kept it. The old engine oil is used for many purposes, right? Either you use for greasing or you use for other purposes. But what Bruno did was he drank that gallon of engine oil and nothing happened. Okay, he was unaffected by the engine oil, right? Okay, uh, now Bruno was growing up in size also, okay, and it was a problem keeping him in the house because he used to sit in the lap of the author's wife and he was very heavy. The children of the tenants, they were also terrorized by the size of Bruno and the behavior of Bruno. So it was very difficult. So they decided, some friends also suggested that he should be sent to the Mysore Zoo. Mysore Zoo is very big. Okay, it's a very big zoo, and if Bruno is sent there, he would be taken care by the people there. Okay, the curator or the superintendent, they would be taking care of the big sized Bruno. Okay, so uh, they decided that they should send Bruno, and it was very difficult for the author's wife to uh, come up with this idea, okay, to accept this idea that Bruno is to be sent. She was not ready to send first because she was very much attached to Bruno. But later she thought about the welfare of Bruno, and then she uh, accepted. She agreed that Bruno be sent to uh, the Mysore Zoo. Right now, a letter was written, and a big cage from Mysore Zoo was sent, and in that big cage, Bruno was put in, and by the truck he was taken to Mysore Zoo from Bangalore. Okay, so from Bangalore he was taken to Mysore. When Bruno was sent to Mysore Zoo, the author's wife became very sad. Okay, she used to remember everything. There were two things which were very important in the life of Bruno. One was a long stick which he used to keep, and whenever the author's wife said that Bruno, point the gun, he used to take that stick and point it like a gun, duck, 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 right? And the other was a big stump, that is a big log, which he used to cradle like a baby, right? As if Bruno had a baby, and that baby was cradled in the hands of Bruno, so he used to cradle it lovingly. So there were two things which he had. Now, the author's wife used to see those things, and she used to remember Bruno, and then she used to cry also, right? So, after 3 months, they decided to visit the zoo to meet Bruno. All those people, all the friends of the author or the author's wife, when they had gone to Mysore, they had seen Bruno, and they said that Bruno was fretting, right? That means he was not enjoying his stay there. He was very sad. He was not eating anything. He was not enjoying his life. He was very much remembering the author's wife, right? Now, whenever author's wife heard this, she was very much disturbed. So she decided that she would go and meet Bruno in the Mysore Zoo. Okay. All those who heard, they said that Bruno would have forgotten author's wife because it was a very long period of 3 months. So everyone said that the meeting would not be fruitful because Bruno might have forgotten the author's wife. But the author's wife was adamant to go to Mysore. And then she started her journey by car. By, uh, by car, they went to Mysore Zoo. When the author and his wife reached Mysore Zoo, they saw Bruno in a cage. And when they saw Bruno in a cage from a far off distance, Bruno started jumping on seeing the author's wife. He jumped and he somersaulted. He was expressing his happiness. Okay, he did not have the voice to express it, he did not have any language to express it. And that is why his actions, they expressed how happy he was on seeing the author's wife, right? So he expressed his happiness. The author's wife was very happy, and she also ran towards the cage of Bruno, and both of them hugged each other in spite of the bars that were in between, right? Both of them hugged each other. Then she fed Bruno, and she brought all those things that Bruno liked, and both of them had a very wonderful time. But now was the time for the closure of the zoo. The zoo was about to close in the evening. So now was the time of separation, right? They had to go. The author and his wife had to leave. Now Bruno started fretting again, right? He did not like that the author's wife would leave. The author's wife also cried a lot. Even on seeing Bruno, even at the time of separation, also she was crying, crying. And then they decided that they would take Bruno back. Okay, that was the obvious decision that was expected in this situation. So they asked the curator that they wanted to take this their Bruno back. He said that now it is not in his jurisdiction. He cannot do anything as this belongs to government. That means Bruno belongs to government. Now he is government property. What to do? The author and his wife were very sad, but the curator gave them a suggestion, right? An idea, a suggestion. He said that if you go to Bangalore and meet the superintendent, and if he allows, I am ready to send him back. So they again came to Bangalore from Mysore and met the superintendent. The superintendent was told about the story, and then he also was a very good man, a very kind hearted, a very loving person. A wonderful gesture shown by the superintendent that he allowed Bruno to go back. Okay, now Bruno, how to take him back? That was also a very challenging question. How to take him back now? He was brought in a truck in a cage. So, how to take him back from Mysore Zoo to Bangalore? The superintendent was very nice, very good person, very humble person, very helpful person, that he asked the curator to supply them a big cage. So a big cage was supplied to them, and in that cage Bruno was put, and it was tied on the top of their car. Now in the car, the author and his wife. And over the car, there is a big cage in which Bruno was kept. Right? Now, when Bruno was kept on the cage and tied, the cage was tied, it was ensured that when they pass over the bumpy areas, it would not move because it would trouble Bruno. Right? So, each care was taken and they reached home. Now, Bruno was so happy that he could not express his happiness on seeing the Alsatian dog that they had, the surrounding his home. He had reached back his home. Now, the problem was how to keep Bruno because now he could not be kept in the house. Right? It was a small, even though it was a big house, keeping in the house would mean danger to others. So what they did is that they made an island. You know what an island is, right? Island surrounded by water. But here it was not surrounded by water, but a separate land, separate island was created, which was about 20 feet long and 15 feet wide. Okay, it was 20 feet long and 15 feet wide. It was surrounded by a dry pit or a moat pit. Okay, it was a dry pit. Pit was dug around that island, which was 6 feet wide and 7 feet deep. It was a deep trench. Okay, you can think of a trench, a big trench, which was dug, and it was created on the all the sides of the island. So an island was created with a trench, and Bruno was kept on the island. That island had all the things, the trees and all those things. It was a wonderful place in his garden only. Okay. Now, what happened? He started living there. So, what? How to supply all the requirements that had? The author's wife supplied him with two important things that he had. One was the big stick which he used as a gun, and the other was a stump which he used as a baby, which he used to cuddle. Okay, those two things were kept in the island. and all the food and all those things were there. And what how the author's wife used to meet, that was very strange. There was a rope tied to the tree there on the island, and in the house this side, and there was a pulley. Okay, there was a pulley and a rope attached to it, which she used to hold the rope, put her feet, okay, on the uh, created place on the rope, put the feet on the rope, hold the rope, and push herself with another feet. She had to cross those 7 feet, 6 feet, which was wide, the trench. So 6 feet wide trench had to be cleared by the author's wife. Okay, she could not jump 6 feet. So there was a rope which was tied with a pulley, and she used to hold the rope, put her feet for rest, and then she would push herself with another feet. And then she used to cross that trench. Okay, and when she crossed the trench, she would reach another side. And even now, Bruno used to sit on the lap of the author's wife, right? Even if when he was big, and she had named her as Baba. Okay, earlier this was mentioned. She had named her as Baba also. He was called Bruno as well as Baba, which is a loving word used for baby boys. Now, this to and fro journey of the author's wife, this was this continued for a very long period. Both of them lived together, and this bond of love could not be broken, even by the distance which was created between them, between Bangalore and Mysore. So the story ends here, telling us how Baba was brought back, how Bruno was brought back, and how an island was created which helped the author's wife cross that trench. Right? Now, uh, the story tells you about the love that can be shared. Okay, the love, the bond that can be created between humans and animals. It is not that animals do not understand. Love is the language which even the animals or the birds, any creature can understand. The attachment that you have, the love that you have, only that love can be understood. If you hold a, an animal or a baby or a person with a malice heart, that person understands that, right? If you have bad intentions, even the animals understand that. But if you lovingly uh, hold that animal, it is clear that that animal also understands. So this is the bond of love between the author's wife and a sloth bear, a huge, big bear. Okay, thank you.